and thanks for staying with us. The Nigerian Customs Service has seized goods worth over 10 billion naira at Apapa Customs Port in Lagos. Also on customs report, the CG of Nigerian Customs Service continue to preach to members of the public to bring in consignments that are approved by government. Plus, more reports. I am Igiseme Idine. Stay tuned. The Nigerian Customs Service has impounded goods worth over 10 billion naira at Apapa Port. The customs controller warned importers against bringing in consignment to the country not approved by government. The Nigerian Customs Service has made a breakthrough in its efforts to combat illicit imports and threats to the nation's economy. The Country Nigeria of Customs announced the seizure of 16 containers loaded with contraband goods valued at over 10 billion naira. The seized items include 7 containers of expired drugs and medicaments. 3 containers of expired food items were also seized by the customs.
Today, it gives me pleasure to announce the seizure of 16 containers of goods whose importation violate our laws and threaten our collective peace and security. And without wasting your time, I would like to begin with the seizure of 1 by 40 footer container, number MRSU 6407089. This container, on receipt of intelligence, was jointly examined by officers of the Nigeria Customs Service and NDLA. Initially, this container was adjudged clean, but secondary search by the 2 agencies revealed the concealment of 202 cans of Colorado Loud, that is Canadian drugs. Each of the cans weighs 500 grams, and the total seizure involved is 101 kilogram. That's about 2 bags of cement of worth of drugs. However, intels available to us suggest that it is not only about drugs inside these containers. Acting on this advice, the CAC was directed to deploy scanners and subject these containers to scanning. And when this was done, arms and ammunition were discovered inside the container. 2 pump-action rifles and 25 cartridges of ammunition were discovered. Also discovered was 1 Smith & Wesson pistol with 55 rounds of ammunition, 1 blank, and a number of accessories. This container had Mr. Babatunde Ogidiolu of an address in Lagos as the consignee of these products. Other seizures include that of 7 containers of expired drugs and prohibited medicaments, 3 containers of expired food items, particularly margarine, and 3 containers of absolutely prohibited used clothing. Over the weekend, we also launched an operations through the customs area where 1 container, 1 by 40 footer container, number OERU 4243517, was seized, and it contained 1,290 sacks of frozen poultry products. Another container, FBI U 5507953, a 40-footer container, also had 1,290 sacks of frozen chicken. Another interesting seizure has to do with an importation that has infringed intellectual property rights. It was established that this container, numbers ZZSU 7277511, had 305 cartons of toothpastes that were concealed with beads and jalabia dress. This particular seizure also underscores what Customs does with other agencies of government regarding the enforcement of brand rules. It was a case of infringement of a brand owned by a Nigerian company. Because these products were also not registered by NAFDAC, in addition to the brand infringement, they are subject to seizure. 2 other containers of expired chest and lung tablets without NAFDAC registration number were also seized. And as we were putting together this press briefing, 2 containers that we have followed over a period of time from our partners arrived at our port yesterday. And true to the information that we received, these 2 containers, 40-footer containers, contained codeine. These 2 containers have also been seized. And the information that we had on these containers is linking the owners to that of the previous ones that we have made.
5 suspects have been arrested with 3 charges and remanded in prison pending trial, while 2 are on administrative bail awaiting court dates. The Customs believes that the suspect operated as part of a collaborated criminal network arrested in Nigeria.
These are military camouflage and the military shoes, as well as the swords. They were all extracted from some imported cargo which came through the ports. So, as explained, our non-intrusive technology has the capacity to detect even the smallest item that criminals may want to import into Nigeria. Of course, these are big items that we might see. It is not difficult for us to be able to get the pump action detected. But items as little as this pistol can be detected when we subject them to scanners. We've deployed 2 of these scanners in Apapa port. We've deployed others in other ports, and I'm very happy to inform Nigerians that these are already up and running and we are getting results. This is one of them. It also revealed that there are cartridges and there are blanks and other accessories inside. Most intriguing are the importation of this kind of dangerous materials, which hopefully was imported to get into the hands of some criminals in our countries. So when some guys wear this, they go on the road and say they were stopped by military officers. These are military camouflage. Nobody is authorized to import this kind of things into our country. We've been working with owners of the brands to give us intelligence regarding illegal and improper importation of products for which they have the brands. It looks like it, but if you see this well, you will see that this one is Klugolde toothpaste, with all the trappings and the color machination of the regular Colgate that we knew. So we got the information from them. Have 202 things of Colorado, also known as Canadian Lounge. And based on his directive, after we tested this, he directed that we should subject it to scanning. And I'm happy to announce to us that the result of the scanning gave birth to the arms as well as the ammunition. In fact, the scanner revealed the black spots and indirected descend on those spots. And when we opened them, those were the things we found. So now about this, these are the things of Colorado which were brought in. If you look at it, they were deliberately mixed with the real ones. Those are the real thing food. So they now mixed it, showing that definitely they took it for some processing in the factory fitted to disguise the actual contents of this thing, so that by the time we see, we presume that they are tin tomatoes.
These are produced scientifically under controlled environment, under greenhouse. So they modify the potency. They scientifically, genetically modify the potency of it. So even if you get the cannabis indica, this particular loud that is coming from Canada that has been modified is even stronger than the conventional cannabis indica.
Relying on more agencies and things like that. We now rely more on intelligence, on information, on synergy between the agencies, on joint operations, joint interceptions that will help us to do this. You know, if they were here, if we are there, and we do not have the correct information and intelligence, or we do not deploy the right technology, some of these things will have escaped. We told you that we have to subject this container to scanner before we discover that there are more dangerous things in the container than we have. And the danger about this is that in some climes, these are allowed. You can become your Royal Highness after taking this, if you like. But the law prohibits it in Nigeria.
The Nigerian Customs Service is vowed to collaborate with NAFDAC, NDLA, and international customs bodies to dismantle the syndicates behind the illicit trades in the country. You are watching the program Customs Report. The Airport Command of the Nigerian Customs Service has again seized dollars runs into billions of naira at the airport. The dollar was apprehended at the Airport Command by the area controller. The customs area controller said that the passenger refused to declare the amount at the customs desk. He was arrested and handed over to EFCC for further investigation. The Nigerian Customs Service has officially handed over a Nigerian traveler dollars he refused to declare at airport before boarding a flight outside the country. The customs area controller in charge of Murtala Mohammed International Airport said that the management will not allow any passenger to break the rule of currency declaration at the airport. It speaks more on the arrest.
We have had public announcements, even presently in the airport, at intervals, announcements are being made on the need for travelers coming in or going out of the country to declare their currencies or their equivalent to the Nigeria Customs Service. The signage, electronic signages in the halls displays these messages. Yet, at intervals, we also have people who fail to adhere to extant laws and regulations. There was a passenger intending to travel with Emirates Airlines to Dubai. He went to our seats where our officers are working and declared $10,000, which is good enough. On the process of confirming that what he is declaring is accurate, we discovered extra $49,000. That is in contravention of the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2022 and Section 55(1)(f) of Nigeria Customs Service Act 2023. And for this reason, we had to invite the EFCC, the appropriate government agency, and hand over the suspect, the money, the evidence we have, his traveling document, and other relevant information that we've gathered, including his statement, to them for further necessary action. I want to reiterate that the service, our eyes are open. We will not allow these actions and activities that goes contrary to the spirit of our mandate. Our CGC has instructed us that we do all that is needful to ensure that money laundering activities are not prevalent in this airport, and we are going to do it just as is instructed.
While the EFCC Zonal Director has this to say.
We will not relent in always try to see that we enforce this law. All that we have been saying and we will continue to say is laws are meant to be obeyed. Whoever is thinking can violate laws or not comply with laws, provision of our laws of the land, we will definitely do our best in line with our mandate to enforce it and to make sure that upon violation of that law, he is not going to go scot-free. So we are hereby, as a commission, on behalf of our executive chairman, take over these exhibits, both the declared and the undeclared sum, along with all the traveling documents and the other relevant document for our further necessary action. And definitely, justice is going to be served, which is going to be a deterrence to others.
The controller used the opportunity to urge travelers to always declare their currency at custom desks if the money is over $10,000.
The Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) has intensified efforts to advance the federal government's trade reform agenda through a closer collaboration with the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) and the National Single Window (NSW) Secretariat. Hosting the executive chairman of FIRS, Dr. Zach Adediji, and the director of the NSW project, Mr. Tola Fakolade, at the NCS headquarters in Abuja, the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR, stressed that the National Single Window is a transformational initiative that will reshape Nigeria's trade landscape, noting that its success depends on seamless interagency collaboration. He said the project is not just about technology, it is about building a modern trade ecosystem where government agencies work as one to serve the trading community with efficiency, transparency, and speed.
It is not so much about whether it will be done or not. It has to be done. We are already working on a timeline, and now we have a clearer timeline that by Q1 2026, we need to get National Single Window up and running. So we have less than 4 or 5 months to talk over and agree on whatever sticky issues that might remain in our march towards National Single Window. We all travel to different countries of the world, apart from the so-called big economies. We've been to some smaller economies within Africa, and we have seen them implement National Single Window, different variants of it. So it becomes, therefore, a challenge that we must rise onto. So there will be a lot of processes that will build. There will be the need for institutional cooperation and collaboration. There will be some kind of compromises that has to be made. There will be some sacrifices that will be undertaken to make us get into a good start.
In his remarks, Dr. Zach Adediji reaffirmed FIRS's commitment to the project, saying the revenue agency will collaborate fully to ensure the system delivers on its promise of improved compliance, revenue growth, and ease of doing business. The NSW Director, Mr. Fakolade, called on all participating agencies to meet their integration timelines to keep the Q1 2026 launch on track.
Projects, as it were, was not Federal Land Revenue Service project. If you all recall, I was Special Advisor to the President of Revenue before moving to Federal Land Revenue Service. So as a Special Advisor to the President of Revenue, understanding what non-tax revenue can be or compete to the country. So Mr. President in his own wisdom discovered that our trade facilitation platform is one of the sources of revenue that is non-tax related that we can use to run the administration or develop infrastructure and do all sorts. And we see National Single Window as one of those things that we need to do. And one of the problems that we've had in the past is interagency rivalry relating to these wonderful corporations. So that is where, as it were, then Mr. President decided that he would be the one to lead it himself to the presidency. And as a special advisor on President of Revenue, it falls under my office. So that is why we have to drive it from there.
We're actually at the point of integration. This architecture of the single window stays at the central platform, and then all the other agencies, including customs, are integrated with the single window. So we're at the stage where we need an integration. We need to start integrating with the agencies. So the first request we have here is we have Crimson Logic, our technologies solution vendors from Singapore. They've been with us since the beginning of April. We will need them to work with the technology vendors of Bodo so that they can exchange integration, specification documents, and APIs to ensure a seamless integration between those two systems.
What we are doing for the National Single Window is more of a compliance thing. It's more of a regulatory compliance thing to us to fast track processes for trade, international trade, without compromising what we need to do in the area of national security and things like that.
Launched in April 2024 by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Nigerian National Single Window is a unified digital platform connecting all trade-related government agencies. Once operational, it is expected to drastically cut bureaucratic bottlenecks, reduce cargo clearance time, lower operators' costs, and position Nigeria as a more competitive player in global trade. The platform, when fully operational, will not only enhance revenue generation, but also create jobs, strengthen compliance, and provide tangible benefits for businesses, government, and consumers alike.
The Nigerian Customs Service has launched a reputation management guide in Zone A. The guide will enable stronger integrity and public trust of the service as time goes on. The CJO of Nigerian Customs Service says that Nigerian Customs Service will continue to improve on all importation as approved by the federal government.
In a bid to enhance public trust and improve service delivery, the Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) has launched its strategic reputation management campaign in Zone A. The initiative, formally launched at Customs Headquarters in Abuja, recently was also flagged off on Monday, August 11, 2025 at Apapa Area Command for officers in Zone A. In his remarks, the Zonal Coordinator of Customs in Zone A, ACG Charles Obi, described the launch as a turning point in redefining customs officers' identity in the country and enhancing public trust in activities of the service.
It is with great pleasure and a deep sense of responsibility that I stand here before you on this distinguished gathering on the historic occasion, the formal launch of the Nigeria Customs Service Reputation Management Guide in Zone A and the commencement of our training program on this vital document. Today marks a significant milestone in our journey towards excellence and institutional transformation. As we gather here today, we are not just launching a guide, we are also embarking on a mission to redefine what it means to be a customs officer in Nigeria. On Tuesday, August 5th, 2025, the Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR, DSM, FNIPR, FNIIA, PSC Daga, unveiled this groundbreaking reputation management guide at the service's headquarters in Abuja. In his words, we want to launch a new phase of the customs. We want to go beyond our traditional mandate. This guide is an opportunity for every customs officer to be part of a project that rewrites the history of our service. This statement captures the essence of what we are here to achieve today. Understanding what we are dealing with is fundamental to our success. Reputation, as defined in this guide, is the collective perception stakeholders hold about an institution's integrity, performance, competence, and communication. For the Nigeria Customs Service, a strong reputation enhances public trust and compliance, encourages interagencies and international cooperation, supports the credibility of enforcement operations, and boosts morale among staff while improving citizen engagement.
Also speaking, the Customs Area Comptroller, Robert Papa Command Comptroller Babatunde Olomu, PhD, emphasized that his officers, in collaboration with other commands within Zone A, are fully prepared to uphold the principles outlined in the guide.
On behalf of the officers of Zone A, we stand committed and will abide by every line in that reputation management. And by the special grace of God, the reputation of the service shall continue to soar higher and higher. Thank you very much for your time. We most sincerely appreciate you.
During the launch, presentations were made by 3 facilitators on the principles of reputation management, followed by an interactive session which underscored renewed professionalism and patriotism among the officers.
Just before I round up this week's edition of the program Customs Report, we brought you a report where goods worth over 10 billion naira was impounded at Aba Customs Command. And also, 5 people were also arrested because of the seizure. For me, Egeseme Edie, thanks for watching.